What is up, winning team? Hi, everyone. So, yeah, if you're looking for something positive and uplifting, you might want to just click off immediately because I need to get some stuff off my chest and I'm reluctantly sitting in the garden. Why, you say? Well, because number one, the neighbors are all just way too close. This is why I always go and find somewhere away from people. But the thing is, I just feel so exhausted. Like, I just can't even imagine going anywhere. And I just don't feel safe enough to, like, not in a way like I don't feel like anywhere's safe, but more so in the way of, I don't like to be out and about when I don't feel like I could just run in an instant if I needed to, or like defend myself. And right now, like, even just coming out here feels exhausting, but I need to get some things off my chest, you guys. And I don't know how I'm going to feel, because on the one hand, I feel like a bit of sunlight is going to be good for me. On the other hand, I hate being too hot, so you guys know this already. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like we've just descended even further into chaos, like as a society. We've just descended further, and I just know too much. Like, I know too much now, like, I've been thinking a lot about like justice and all of this, and yesterday I was kind of pushed to the edge. I've actually recorded 3 videos that haven't gone up because I fear I'm saying too much. But like, so in the body of Christ at the moment, finally these leaders, are speaking up about how most people that call themselves a Christian in certain places probably are not. And it's so freaking frustrating that it always has to get to this. Like, it always has to get to this where, so for example, one person of God that I listened to, I listened to for like a short period, and he's the one who did the teaching I always talk about on the 4 stages of defilement, Alex Pagani, right? And he recently just made a video talking about, I can't turn a blind, like, not to say he can't, he's not gonna turn a blind eye to his friends who he knows are phonies in the body of Christ. And like, guys, it's so annoying that it always takes people being pushed like to the edge, so your name potentially being on the line. Because he was basically saying that he's not going to go down with some of the people he knows or he's been affiliated with throughout the years because he's not guilty of the things they are, and how he's been trying to walk the straight and narrow path since like before I was born and all this stuff. And it's just like, why do we always turn a blind eye to things until it's just so selfish to me? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's just so selfish. Like, you didn't mind all these times, where you are knowingly watching other leaders going on stage, doing these conferences. You're seeing the people give all their money. They're crying out to the Lord. And as long as it wasn't affecting your reputation, you were kind of okay with turning a blind eye. And this is the problem I have with like everyone, with everything, because I've been realizing I truly hate everything. It's like people want to be all justice warriors and caring and loving and Christ-like until it costs you something. And that's the bit that frustrates me, because I'm thinking, I've been here on my channel trying to make my videos, and like, I'm really going through it, and I really could use, like, the only thing anybody could do to actually help me at this stage is to actually just stand up against the things happening in the world, and stop like looking at problems and turning away until it affects you at your doorstep. Because that's always my problem, guys, is that everything, the reason why I can't just ignore what's happening or just try and see the bright side of things is because I know whatever I ignore eventually is going to arrive at my own doorstep anyway. So it's either that we intervene as soon as possible, or, you know, the devil's just going to have his way. And like one of the things that happened in the UK, as of May 1st, so next month, again, just another month where I'm going to be, it's going to be my birthday again. And the UK government has decided to institute this new law. It's called like the Renters' Rights Act or something, you know? Basically, it's going to make it really easy for people paying rent to, so you know how they always push like a narrative. So their narrative is, well, people have been complaining about the cost of living. This is why I'm like, just complaining and not being one of the doers. Like just complaining and hoping somebody else is going to solve your problems doesn't solve it. You need to be the one in there doing it yourself. Otherwise, you can't necessarily trust what these people are doing. So they always frame everything in a way where it's like, oh, this is for your benefit. So one of the things is, you know, now landlords won't be able to just give you like 2 months notice. You would have to go to like an actual, I don't know, I don't understand it in full, but like it could take months and months. Like you could end up staying, even if you violated your contract or you haven't paid rent, you could end up staying for months and months because your landlord will now have to like build a case essentially. Now, here's the thing. It all sounds well and good in the moment until you realize it's just another tactic, because now renters and people will obviously try to exploit that, because maybe not even exploit it. Maybe people, and I know that it's really expensive for everyone. And that's why I'm like, why am I the one who's caring when I'm the one who's got faith to get to the promised land anyway? So I don't even see myself as having to deal with these things really. It doesn't really matter what the news is saying. It doesn't really matter what the government's doing. It doesn't really matter because my faith isn't in anyone. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anything they say. And that's another annoying thing about being my age now, is just realizing that throughout my entire life, you always have adults talking about how you can't trust the government, you can't trust this, but then you say all that, and then you wake up and you go right back into the same system the next day. And so I've been thinking maybe I'm not crazy for how much I hate actually being here. Right? So now what's happening is landlords are realizing, oh, hell no, this doesn't work out for us unless we can afford to absorb a lot of loss of money. Oh, that's another thing we should talk about, the freaking airplanes. So they're selling. Now, that means people are going to be evicted. People are being evicted. Houses are getting sold because you know why? You know where they're going? Big corporations. Big corporations are buying all the houses because obviously they can afford for you not to pay rent for 6 months and they can just absorb it. But now they are the ones in control and they're the ones owning everything. And it's just like, it reminds me of exactly how I feel like right now sitting in my garden. Like the walls feel like they're just caving in and everything is trying to take everything and anything from you. You know, and the people at the top, they're just getting sloppy now because they can. They're getting sloppy because they can, because we've handed over so much of our freedom to them. Like with the airplane industry, I have an issue with flying now. And not even because, you know, I'm scared of like actual flying like I used to be, but like the things that these people are doing. You guys know that there's this YouTube channel I like to watch called Mentor Pilot. And I recommend you guys go and watch at least one of the videos. Yeah. Just to see, because you can see in these, like in the way the guy breaks everything down with his team, how sloppy things have gotten. And I genuinely believe it's because these people just don't care. Because tell me why there was another incident that happened in none other than a flight that was either going to or coming from Milano Malpensa Airport, right? So this was in 2024. When I used to watch this stuff, it always used to be like, I feel like we had a story arc of where aviation was something that was getting better and better because people were trying to, you know, like have the best airplanes. And now it's like everything is just about cutting corners. So they had this other system, yeah. It's another one of these systems where they're trying to put an automated thing into the plane, even though we learned from the 777 MAX or 737 MAX situation, where the pilots were literally having to fight off the entire plane, pulling them down. And the only reason the planes went down is because the pilots no longer had the strength to literally be pulling the plane up, which is absolutely insane. And it's so disrespectful, in my opinion, to that whole industry, because they're literally the most competent people ever. Yeah. They've put in some other automated system that's backfired. And then they're like, oh, no, 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 we're going to fix it now. Like, we're literally the guinea pigs. We're literally the guinea pigs. The food, we're going to poison you. We're going to sell you poison, and then we're going to sell you the elixir. And again, how have the food standards dropped so massively in this country? Oh, Brexit, the Europeans coming and stealing the jobs. If we leave the EU, 50 million, 500 million is going to the NHS. But the same NHS that has to go and hire people from other countries, and I know this has been going on for a long time, because this is literally how my family ended up in America, because they all came to Zimbabwe to recruit, because they didn't have their own people going into certain job roles. So then now they're poisoning us and then selling us the so-called antidotes. So again, Food and Drug Association, like they're all working together. And then you have the church now. And so for people of God to be now speaking up, these pastors, leaders, yeah, so it's like, so you clearly knew. Like, this is what I'm saying. You people clearly knew there was something wrong with what's going on, and you just carried on. This is why I don't be sleeping and all of this, because I wake up, I can't sleep. I can't sleep in the world that I'm living in. Like, I cannot. I can't just wake up in the morning and think, la-di-da, let's get the day going, let's have some breakfast and go to work. It's like, bro, even with my job, yeah, it's a joke. The education system is becoming such a joke. The kids are coming out, being pulled out from school left, right, and centre. And again, was it last year? The government put 50 million to languages. I'm like, the kids can't even do the basics maths of English at the moment. They're struggling unless they have some kind of unique situation, as in, like, parents who are really going out of their way. Because that's the only way that any of these kids are doing well, because their parents are like I recently had a couple weeks ago, because I get reached out to a lot by schools and stuff, and also these alternative provisions, and these are the things that other people don't see. So these, what they're calling alternative provisions, is essentially the government is funding these middleman companies to find people like me to teach kids who can't be in school for whatever reason. And recently, I met the most loveliest family, this mother, and I think she has 5 daughters in total. Anyways, so she's the one who I said called me, and I was even like, how did you get my number? But anyway, it was because of all of this stuff, this alternative provision stuff. And she calls me and she's in hysterics, right? And this is what I'm saying again, when people talk about like, oh, it's so nice, we appreciate the teachers. It's like, well, you don't, because if you did, when I'm not at work like now, I shouldn't be here struggling through. I should be enjoying, like, I should be off on a 2-week cruise, mate, for the frigging Easter break, loving life without having to think too much about it. Because that's the other thing, the thinking part is the exhausting part. But yeah, I got these mums calling me in hysterics. Oh my gosh, I've just pulled my kid out of school. We need to do this, we need to do that. The school wants proof that her daughter's getting education, but the fact of the matter is, her kid was not getting from school what she needed to get, and it was a hostile environment for her because she recently moved to that school because they had to move from a different part of the country because of complex family situations I'm not going to share. And I'm talking to this kid, and she's literally the sweetest girl ever with the most positive attitude, and that's what makes me sad. Like, the kids are really taking it in their stride right now, and I genuinely believe it's the bliss of ignorance, where they're, the education system they're in, they're studying, they're doing all of this. And so I'm talking to this kid, yeah? And again, it's a classic case of all the adults just doing a whole load of everything except from what's actually helpful. So she's like, they're trying to get her into all this school stuff. They're like, we want her to do this and that. I'm like, first of all, we need to take into account these kids' actual life situations, because they're always very complex and really sad. And it's usually not the kid's fault. Even whether they've got however many diagnoses, whatever, I would say 9 times out of 10, it genuinely is the fault of all the systems involved. So anyway, she's having all of this being done. and they're just doing stuff. But it turns out, anyway, she's already applied to go on to the next stage of her education, and there's a chance she can get in, right? So I'm thinking this is good, because then she doesn't have to lose out on her educational journey. She won't just be there like seeing barely anyone. And there's also, like, think of quality of life. The best parts for me of school was like times like this, knowing that now this term it will be athletic season, so I'll be doing all high jump, I'll be, doing sports. Me and my friends always used to bring out the tennis rackets to school, so like during lunch break we would like go onto the tennis courts. One of us would run to secure a court, one of us would run to go and buy an ice lolly. The ice lollies would be like 10p each. Like, we would just be enjoying these times, you know what I mean? And everything. And it's like now just to see, and it's so crazy because you have at the very same time all the schools like, hi, we would like you to, we believe you live locally to such and such. We would love to hire you to this really nice school. We're in desperate need of a maths teacher, like shock frigging horror. And then at the same time, I've got the other places for the kids who obviously got removed so that they can maintain their reputation. Are also the other ones contacting like, oh, hey, we have all these people. Like, why am I, who's here, like in the south, or you could say east, southeast of England, getting asked to teach kids all the way in like up north? Like, that's how dire the situation is. And again, no one knows the real solution. No one's having any solutions. It's just a lot of people being paid. Like, this woman really ticked me off because I tried to call this company. Yeah, this is the companies that you go on their website, like, what is it? Funded by the government. Funded by the government. Yeah. And so I was trying to contact them on the last day before the Easter break, because I realized, oh wait, the people who are always just sitting in offices making decisions, who are not actually out doing the job, like with the kids, they are so annoying to deal with. Like, oh my gosh, because if what I need to do isn't done by whatever time I'm supposed to be done, it needs to get done, mate. That's why I end up working till late sometimes, because it's like, whoa. So I'm trying to speak with this lady because she's taken over whatever cases. And again, these jobs, these companies, they're like a revolving door. There's always a new staff. They're always changing the HR. They're always changing everything. And I know it's because it's not working. That's what I'm saying. We're just beating a dead horse. So I'm trying to call her on Friday thinking, I'm not going to hear from her for 2 weeks. I'm still going to be working in the midst of the 2 weeks off. I'm not going to hear from you for 2 weeks because you come in and you do your little 9 to 5 and do the bare minimum and then you leave. It's like the middle of the day. I'm trying to get a hold of her, and I'm trying to get a hold of who am I supposed to talk to, because everything's changing all the time. And as soon as they need something from me, and nobody got any problems calling me before my working hours, right? This is why I've had to start putting my phone on do not disturb before I go to sleep. But then when I'm trying to get a hold of you during your working hours, when you're literally probably just sat at your desk. And so she never got back to me. So I was like, great. So now it's going to be 2 weeks. This girl has an interview. I was thinking, let's lock in. If we can lock in and get her into the interview, I'm thinking, let's call the place. Let's call the college and see if we can like organize and explain her situation. I would happily do it. But then again, you see, this is what happens to me all the time. There's always things that I would do, and there's always some barrier, and it's always freaking human beings. It's always freaking other humans that are the barrier. You know what I mean? In my way, because like, I'm like, hey, I'll just call this is why I prefer to do the work for myself for my own company, because then I can just do it. I'll just call the college myself. Hi, I'm the teacher, yada, yada, yada. But now because of all this extra, whatever you want to call it, with these incompetent so-and-sos in the middle of the way, progress isn't going to be made. And then I feel bad because then who's the one who talks to the parents? Who's the one who has to explain what's going wrong? Me. And then now when I'm off on Easter break and you'd think, oh, it must be nice to have a break. No, it's not. It was nice to have a distraction and to feel like I'm doing something, because I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to do anything. Look at the state of the world. Look at the state of the church. Look who's thriving and enjoying life. And the crazy part is Alex and even Marcus were talking about how they know, like, literally how there are leaders literally living double lives. So coming out on stage, putting on these performances, yeah, and this is who the jury of the sheep was being swayed by. This is who everybody listens to. Watch. This is who has all these platforms and all these voices that no one's second guessing ever. Yeah. And knowingly, they know that they are living a double life. And that's crazy to me, yeah, because I've been talking about this a lot. And I really feel like unless you're in the situation, you just don't get it. That I find it insanely crazy that in life, some of us get so heavily critiqued. Like Marcus was even saying this in his video, that it's like people are waiting to find one wrong thing that he did wrong. Like you could do 10 things right, and then you do one thing wrong, and people be like, "Ha, we knew it. We knew you were a fake, a fraud. We knew whatever, whatever." And it's just so annoying because it's like you're saying that about the people who literally want to see you go to heaven. Because this is what I was thinking. I make my videos and I say the things I say because I don't want to see anybody go to hell. These people are knowingly being hypocrites, knowing you're going to go to hell, and these are the people you trust. This world is backwards. This world is backwards, and I hate it here. I truly, like I was going to say to God, I haven't even said anything like this because the last time I did, I was like, God, give me something to care about, like at least. And then I started doing my If Humans Are Evil, Why Do Humans Choose Evil series. That was a bad move because I just spent the last 6 months, it was even 6, actually it's more like 7, 6 months, just learning everything that's wrong with the world. I mean, I was watching Gideon's videos, and again, he's one of those people, one of those Christians that Christian people will be like, oh, he gave his life to God, but he's not serious. But then it's like, but he literally has created his whole brand now. He goes and catches predators. He does the work the police are not ready to do, and then he brings them all the evidence that they need. And one of his last ones that he did that I saw the other day, and it was a 27-year-old young guy, and the situations are dire. This is why I'm like, people are definitely hiding a lot of secrets. That's what I've come to realize. But as he's catching this guy out, and again, he's this guy who's going to meet these 12 and 14-year-old sisters, right? Of course, when the parents aren't there, he's got an Uber there. He doesn't even have the money to get an Uber back, by the way. And the messages he's sending these kid girls, yeah, and this is just a normal looking guy. And he's talking about, we won't even need to use a condom because I'm going to shove it up your here. I want to watch you and you do these things together. Then when they get caught out, they're all like, oh, I know I messed up. It's like, no. That's not messing up. That's not messing up. That's a character trait. This is why, yeah, I don't believe in any of this, oh, under the influence and you did something you wouldn't normally do. I think you just are doing things that you would actually do. You know what I mean? And you know what was crazy about this? So at this same police department where Gideon had called for this guy to be arrested, he's got all the proof, he's got all the evidence, right? Because that's what works against everybody, especially when it's things with kids, because kids don't know any better. Hold on. I know this is such a poor angle, but I'm so uncomfortable in my body right now. So yeah, people are like, oh, so-and-so's guilty. Where's the evidence? Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Where's the proof? And like, of course, because who's in control of the justice system? Oh, the kingdom of darkness. So of course they're going to make that the big deal. Because then you're going to be like, oh, well, we can't believe that because we don't know if it's really real because we don't have this, we don't have that. Anyway, long story short, the previous case that Gideon had done in the same place had ended up actually now is going to trial, which again, traumatic for the survivors. No one ever thinks about that. Now you have to sit in court with the person that did these things, have their lawyers, you know, like critiquing your story. Like if anything extreme happens to me, guys, you're never going to hear about it. Like as an adult woman now, you're never going to hear about it. I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm going to go to the Lord. I'm going to just shut up, boss up, and stand up. I'm not going to tell no one. And so they're prosecuting the last person he caught from that area. Now this new person, guess what? Case gets dropped because apparently the prosecution now doesn't do these cases. I'm seeing that freaking pastor from wherever who did 16 months, 9 months in prison. The one who was found to have been, you know, sexually abusing people in the 1980s. One of these big ones, and I can't remember his name. I never remember their names because I just don't care. And now he's just got out after like 9 months. Like these people are literally getting a slap on the wrist. There was an official account for Jeffrey Epstein that got verified on TikTok recently. The only 2 people he was following is Donald Trump and Netanyahu, right? And then disappeared after 24 hours. I'm like, this guy, like these people don't care. And it's because of us. Because even Marcus was saying it, like he was saying, Why is it that these leaders do this? Why do they live these double lives? And is that because they're afraid of us? They're afraid of the jury of the sheeple, who are the most fickle people ever. Like, this is why, like I said to you guys, I don't understand this desperation for people to get attention or validation, because the same people that love you today will hate you tomorrow. The same people who praise you for all the good you did will immediately turn on you because you did one thing and made an actual mistake, not these mistakes we're talking about now where it's like like, sorry, but having all these conversations with kids, yeah, is not a mistake. Saying heinous, disgusting things, and like, that's what's bothering me, because I'm thinking, I feel so robbed in life that my childhood is just robbed away, like my innocence. The number of things that people say and have said throughout the years, the amount that I even get sexualized even now, like everything I do is like I'm trying to, and I realize it's a projection because everybody's just so enslaved. And it's annoying because there's so many things that I know about and I wish I didn't, and I only know because somebody else mentioned it. Like I was saying, this guy is saying to this 12 and 14-year-old girl, even this obsession with all this LGBTQ plus thing and kids having rights. Why do they need to be thinking about their sexuality? Like, I wasn't thinking about my sexuality as a kid. I had the normal like crushes. I've talked about this before. I had the normal like crush on the guy of whatever, and like, you know, I would feel all shy if they even just gave me a hug or something, and it was all very pure and innocent. And I realized it's the adults that do the contaminating. It's the adults that do the contaminating, asking you, what did you do with this guy? Tell us in detail. Have you been having thoughts about this? Have you, even the Mormons, they do that, you know, have you been having thoughts about this? Did you think about that? Did you like how her legs looked? You know, like weird stuff. Similar to what happened with Britney Spears when she was a kid and how people sexualized her. I don't think she was very sexual initially. I think she was just very free and comfortable in her body. And that's something I can relate to. But it's like, you can't be though. You can't be, because everyone's just weird. Everyone's weird. And like, the more I learn, the more I'm like, wow, even Bob Marley, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Bob Marley's father was like 16 and the mum was 18 apparently. And I do agree with some folks that she's probably younger. And she was just like, she was a slave essentially that he impregnated. And this is how we got Bob Marley. That's insane. 60 and 18. Like, what is wrong with people? What is actually wrong with people? And you know what I've realized, yeah, as well myself, as I've gotten a bit older and a little bit more feisty with everyone, the type of attention I get has changed. And I believe it's because people feel like they can't take as much advantage of me. And that's the horrifying thing. That it's like, oh, so I was experiencing this and that and this like 5 years ago, and that was only simply because you're a weirdo. Like, that's insane. So yeah, guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good. I just want it to be over. Like, I really want it to be over. And the thought that I have to still be in this world for however long it's tragic. It's really tragic because like so many things could have been avoided. So I'm like, so you guys knew that your buddies, as I've been saying, you knew your buddies, what they were doing behind the scenes. You knew it. And just because you weren't doing it, you didn't want to say anything. And then the people that were saying something were ostracized. That's the world we're living in. That's it. So sorry if I don't find sitting in this garden right now with the sunshine to be some kind of pleasurable experience. Because it just feels like it's all fake and this isn't real. What feels real is last night when it was looking hella creepy with all the trees with their leaves off and it was foggy and I could see weird lights coming from wherever. That's what feels more real, like, in the world. This whole like sun shining on my face, as if there's anything to make, there's any reason for us to be like smiling, is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's just like, I can't. And the people who are enjoying life the most are the ones who are coincidentally ignoring everything. And like I said, we're now moving into the season of the things that are happening are now going to be on your doorstep. Before we could have intervened and we wouldn't have gotten to here. But now things are going to be on your doorstep. And now you're going to have to deal with it. And now what? And I, for the love of everything, don't want to hear a single person saying, how did we get here? Oh, how does this happen? Guys, I'm not even 30. How the hell have I managed to figure this out? So this is what I was thinking. This is why I don't even be listening to a lot of the leaders I like even Marcus. Because I'm like, guys, I've been saying this stuff. Why did it have to get to this point for us to actually start speaking up? Why can we never learn? Can't we be preventative? So yeah, I just feel like, I just don't even care. Like, I genuinely don't even care. I literally wake up every day, right? And I just think, how do I get through the day? This is why me being off work for this week is not really a good thing. Because it's just like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get through the day. I don't want to work for anyone because I don't trust anyone. I don't want to be anywhere because I don't trust people. I don't want to form relationships with anyone because I know people are fickle and will be swayed by the jury, that will be swayed by the phonies. And I actually don't want a drama. And that's one of the things that upsets me the most, is how much I've been accused throughout my life of like starting a drama or being whatever, when it's like all I've done is defend myself because I'm literally losing the opportunities and people I care about. And now I'm in the wrong. But when they were being messy and they didn't even have any proof or evidence, that was fine. They just said whatever they said and everybody was swayed with it. And I've been wondering why that's the case. And I've realized it's because people love the chaos. They love a story. In the same way, like with this Epstein stuff and all this Diddy stuff, it's like no one really cares about the kids. People care that, oh my gosh, such and such celebrity was on the list. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. But like, no one's talking about the kids in the underground tunnels. And I guess I've just got to the point where I'm like, God, send me a location and let's just get to the point, because there's literally nothing else I think there's worth spending my time on. Literally nothing. Literally nothing. It's the only thing that I care to do, and it's because I feel for them, because if somebody doesn't, who will? But then I don't have the resources, the capacity, the people, the everything. So it's just like, oh, I feel stuck. I feel just stuck. And then it's like the day always starts again. Like this morning, I was in bed, obviously not sleeping. I was just watching the sunrise and I was thinking, here we go again. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I may or may not circle back for more videos, just getting everything off my chest that I have to say. Probably not here though, because I'm so hot now. I'm glad though I pushed through to get at least some fresh air, because fresh air is really good for you, and I do feel a little bit better as a result. Also, now the clouds want to cover the sun. But yeah, guys, anyway, please can we all just pray? And can you guys just pray for me and just pray for God to just do something? And I've started to realize that I think God is actually genuinely, like exactly what Jesus said in the Bible. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. Like, who's actually willing to do the work? Because again, now all these people have had all these big careers, written all these books and had all these platforms, have done all these conferences. Everything but the one thing that Jesus is actually asking for us to do. We're prepared to tell people they're going to hell, but we're not prepared to call out other sins like cowardice and things like that, a lack of self-control and all this. We make excuses for the people in those situations, and then we get all hella sensitive when people call things out. Oh, you didn't have to say that like that. Oh, you didn't have to. Listen, if I learned anything from Adam and Eve in the garden, there was no time to negotiate with the snake. And why are you negotiating with the snake in the first place? Why are we not immediately killing the snake? That should be immediately now. So anyway, I'm going to go because I'm getting agitated. Getting agitated. I was already agitated, but I'm getting more agitated now. So I'm going to go. Sorry that I'm not a bundle of joy, you guys, but I don't know. I'm just looking around at the world and I'm just like, wow. No matter what country you look at, where you go, like whatever I'm seeing everywhere, I'm just like, wow. You know? The devil's literally playing in our faces and we're just taking it. And then the people who are trying to actually do something are the ones always on the chopping block. And when I saw that image of that pastor leaving prison with like a smile on his face, I know the look of unrepentance when I see it. Like literally he doesn't care. And I know that what they all do, they're like, well, we don't prosecute this anymore because if I end up prosecuted, then I'm going to expose you. So that's why they're all protecting each other as well. So, yeah. And these are the people you folks who want to talk down on my generation have been listening to for all these decades and telling some of us that we need to do this and we need to do that. This is why I said I'm not listening. Oh, it's nice and cool now. Oh my gosh, that feels amazing. That is what I came outside for. I might sit here for a little bit longer. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. I want to say if life's a game, let's play to win, but it just feels like everyone wants to play to lose at this point. And the thing is, I just don't have to be here to deal with everybody in the aftermath. That's what I don't want to have to deal with. I don't have to deal with the conversations, the complaining, because we could have done something and we haven't been. So anyways, guys, God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.